Welcome to the Tech Safe Home series. This video will look at how we lock down an Android phone so that you can control what apps your children can access. Cell phones with Android are the most common in America, with over 50% of cell phones running some version of Android. The problem from a parent's point of view is one of control. How do we limit what our children can do with this handheld computer in order to protect them from the dangers they may not recognize? So we're going to look at how we lock down an Android-based cell phone so that kids can't add or delete apps or use apps that are installed that we as parents think they should not have access to. In this video, we'll be using a CoolPad Canvas phone that is running Android 7, also known as Nougat. There are two main tasks for us: locking the currently installed apps using Norton App Locker, and then locking down the Google Play Store. So let's get started. Our first task is to get the Norton App Locker installed. So tap on the Play Store and then do a search on Norton. Now down in the middle, scroll over until you can see Norton App Locker. Then tap on that, and then tap on Install. Hit Accept, and wait a moment while this downloads and installs. It won't take very long. Now open the App Locker. Then agree to launch after you choose whether or not you want to give them info that might help in fighting cybercrime, and then hit Setup. Look for the Norton App Locker service here in the accessibility area. Tap it and then tap the switch to turn it on. Then click OK. Next, you have an opportunity to either have an unlock pattern or switch to put in a passcode. I'll put in a passcode for these demonstration purposes, and I'll just use 9999 as my passcode. Then I'll confirm it, and then you select which of my email addresses that works with Google I want to use to control this. In this case, I'm using my Knight's Quest ID, so I'll hit Continue. It then tells you that this button right here is the on-off button. When the lock is locked, it's on. So let's just tap anywhere on the screen, and now we have access to the Norton App Locker. Now we have all the apps on the phone displayed, and you can choose individually which ones to lock down. I'd start with the Google Play Store so that our children can't open it up and download apps that might get around the protections we put in place. You may or may not want to set up the settings as a locked item. That way the kids can't get in and change things like what Wi-Fi they're going to link to or other features. This might be important if you want to limit their Wi-Fi connections only to the systems that you have authorized and you have already connected them to. Let's scroll up, and as you can see, we have two social media apps here, Snapchat and Tumblr. I really recommend those get locked down. And then you may want to lock down shopping apps to keep your kids from buying things. So you can lock down Amazon. You might want to lock down the camera if they've misbehaved in their use of the camera. You just keep scrolling down, finding the things you want to lock. Maybe they play too much Final Fantasy, so you just lock that one out. You don't want to uninstall it because you can use it as a reward on the weekends. You may also want to lock down Google Play Movies and TV or music to protect them from inappropriate content. But later we're going to show you how to limit that anyway using the controls for the Play Store. So just keep scrolling down until you find all the things you want to lock. Maybe you don't want them to have Netflix. Maybe you're tired of them playing Pokemon Go when they should be listening to the preacher at church. But keep going down the list until you have everything locked, and then make sure that you tap the lock button. First time you tap it, it's actually going to be unlocking it. Now we tap it again, and all 8 apps are locked. We're not done yet though. We have to come up to the menu button up here in the upper left-hand corner, and we have to activate the device administrator. This will keep your child from uninstalling Norton App Locker and getting access back to those apps. So you choose to enable it, and then you say we want to activate this device administrator, and then you have to put in a PIN. Now it is locked, but before we can say it's totally locked, we're going to have to kill the Norton App Lock app, basically turn it off. So tap on the overview button on your phone. That's a little square or two little squares overlapping. And notice it's displaying all your apps that are open. Find Norton App Lock like this one, hit the X, and kill it. And now everything is locked in with Norton App Lock. Your children cannot use those apps that you have locked. For instance, we said you couldn't use Tumblr. So if they try, it's just going to say, sorry, you can't get there from here. Not without mom and dad's PIN code. Now tap on the Play Store so that we can lock it down as far as what types of movies, TV shows, music, and books and apps a child can get. So tap on the Play Store. Notice that since you locked it earlier, it's going to want your PIN. Now go to the upper left to the menu button, tap it, and then scroll up until you can hit Settings. When you hit Settings, you'll notice that parental controls toward the bottom are off. Tap that and hit the switch to turn parental controls on. It's then going to ask for another PIN. This really should be a different PIN than the one you use for Norton App Lock or any other lock. I'm going to use 7777 just for the convenience of this lesson. And I'll have to confirm it. Now I can set what level of access I want my kid to have to apps, games, movies, TV, books, and music. You can see that some of the restrictions are already set because I've done this several times before. So tap on each one and pick what you want your child to have access to. If it's a smaller child, you might want to say everyone 10 and plus. Notice that it will only work on what comes in through the Play Store. It won't control any apps that have already been installed. Then save your selection. Do the same for a movie. Maybe you want to drop that down to PG. And it only works with movies that are on Google Play. This will not affect anything coming in through HBO Now or Netflix or CBS Now or any of those other services. And save your selection. TV, same thing. Where we hit something different is in books and music. With books, we can restrict sexually explicit books. This keeps your child from downloading 50 Shades of Grey or other similar works. So I'd make sure that stays checked and save it. Now some music is also very sexually explicit, so we want to restrict that just like I have here and hit save. Now we've got the parental controls set, but there's one more thing we want to do. We want to return to the settings. And notice where it says require authentication for purchases. It's currently set for never, but when you turn this on, you have to have the password to spend money in their store. Notice that you have three choices. You can do it for all purchases through Google Play, or just every 30 minutes you have to ask, or never. I recommend for a child's phone you say for all purchases. Then you have to type in your Google password for the account that's set up. Well, I'll just type in mine real quick. Now go back to the store. And the only problem with that authentication is it only works if you're spending money. It doesn't require the password if the item are free. And if you notice, a lot of these apps are free. So while it will keep children from downloading movies and TV and music and books that do cost money, this really doesn't control apps, and that's why we locked it down using the App Lock. They can't access Google Play without your permission. And that's how you lock down the apps in the Google Play Store on an Android phone. We appreciate you watching our video. We hope you liked it, and if you did, give us a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to this video channel so that you'll see the new movies we have coming out, which will go more into how you can filter and monitor both Android and Apple phones and tablets. And finally, you can get more information about how to protect your children online with all this high-tech stuff by going to our blog, Blogging the Knight's Quest, at this address. Thank you for watching, and please spread the word.